marshaling for sale.
Dude, he told you to stay inside. Now you're gonna die. Nameless rookie.
Ooh, bacon.
Greetings, my tasty morsels. It's Reverse BLT here. And it is Wednesday, which means it is time for the Book of Boba Fett. It's chapter 6, is it? Yeah, chapter 6. No idea what it's called, because Disney never tells us the names of these things beforehand, so I won't know what it is until I actually get into the episode. Last time on the Book of Boba Fett, we basically turned it into the Book of the Mandalorian. He showed up. Basically, he seems almost like a Star Wars version of an Arthurian legend. You know, you have basically this mystical sword that's now in his possession. There's a prophecy. Basically, the Mandalorian's going to end up being the king of the Mandalorians, I think. And I'm curious to see how this is all going to tie into Boba Fett's story. The last episode ended basically with a tease of going to see a little friend, so I'm guessing this episode is either going to be completely Mandalorian again, or it's going to be a combination. Either Boba Fett's going to join him on this mission, which I don't really see how he can, since he's got to, he's got to stay around and get things set up for the conflict with the Pykes, and also just make sure nobody tries to pull any shady shit on him. And if he goes off world, that's a perfect opportunity for someone to try to pull some shady shit. Or we're going to do a half and half episode where we're jumping back and forth between the Mandalorian and Boba Fett. I'm guessing Fennec Shand might go off with the Mandalorian to see Grogu, but she also might not. I don't know. She's the ultimate wild card kind of right now. I really don't know where she's going to be at any given moment, because of her skill set and everything. She might conclude that he's got enough protection for her to go off real quick with the Mandalorian. I don't know. Either way, it's really cool to see, this whole, universe, I guess, mixing together. And I'm curious to see where we go from here. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. The Unnamed, at the moment, chapter 6.
In order to master the ways of the Force, Jedi must forego all attachment.
That is the opposite of our creed. Loyalty and
I saw a lot of people commenting on, oh my gosh, she melted down that whole spear
Grogu,
just to make a that little pouch of chainmail. No, she just melted off the tip of the spear, because that was the part that she hated anyway. That was the part that could pierce armor. And that makes perfect sense. They would make a chainmail
as I'm sure you all know,
vest or something
mustering troops and
for a little tiny
slowly absorbed our planet as part of their spice trade.
Do you know where you are, gentlemen?
Hey, it's
Take it through.
Oh crap, can't think of his name. He always plays these kinds of characters.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, being you're not from around here, and say you figured you're in the middle of nowhere. Think it through.
Timothy Oliphant. Do you feel lucky, punk?
Now load that chest and go. Considered a fine for trespassing.
It's worth more than your town.
Well, then maybe I'll retire.
Another hot pot full of treasure. Yeah, that guy's kind of spry. It's clearly one of the stunt people doing a little extra work. So I'm guessing this is going to be a new ally for Boba in the fight against the Pykes. The Spice Melange. Alright. Good character work. Oh, another remix of the theme. So now we've got a new gunslinger, basically. That is a great ship, but it can't be his solo ship for bounty hunting. So I'm guessing he's going to be shifting completely away from bounty hunting. Either that, or he's going to get a new big ship, and this is going to be like a support craft in it. Because, I mean, where the hell is he going to keep the bounties? Unless he's planning on doing all of them cold from now on. This R2. Of course. We're doing a little fan service tour with the last couple of episodes, I've noticed. Not that there's anything wrong with fan service when it's done right. R2's beeps and whistles are like, dude, what the hell did you do with the astromech
Hello,
port?
friend.
You heathen.
I'm looking for Skywalker.
And surely Luke knows he's there and why he's there. Powerful Jedi. Couldn't Luke have just assembled this thing with the Force in, like, an afternoon? Instead of having a bunch of droids laboring to do it.
Hey, droid. Hey,
That's R2, dude. He does what he
don't
wants.
shut off. Wake up.
Master, what is my purpose? You stack
Hey,
rocks.
I'm looking
oh
for
my God.
Skywalker. He had a kid with him? Is that a bench? How long will I be waiting? Is anyone here? Anyone alive?
So R2 gave them the order to make him a bench so he could sit and wait. That's funny. I still think it would be super ironic if it turns out the Mandalorian is also Force sensitive. Grogu! Wake up, you little bastard. Wow, that's some really good de-aging. Or is he full CG? Yes, another tasty frog. Get him, Grogu! Use the Force and get him. You know, you don't need to do the hand thingy. Just it's all in your head. Tasty frog.
Grogu.
It definitely sounds like Mark Hamill. So I'm assuming that's actually him with a de-aging effect. And damn, it looks good. I heard they hired the guy, like a guy off the internet who figured out a way to use like, I guess, machine learning and stuff to do a better effect. And I'll have to say that paid off because that looks fucking amazing. Show us the way of the Force, Master Skywalker. It's gonna lift out all the frogs. Doesn't even need to see them. That's pretty cool. Grogu's like, it's a feast! It's a feast! May I have them, please, Master? I'll give you a bellyache, kid.
Alright, let's go for a walk.
Now that I'm done showing off.
I want to tell you about someone you remind me of a great deal. His name was Yoda. He was small like you, but his heart was huge, and the Force was strong in him.
Why don't Jedi just use the Force to fly?
He once said to me,
Should be possible.
size matters not.
Judge me by my size, do you?
Would you like to remember?
Oh, gonna touch his mind?
Let me help you remember.
Hey, did he give consent? You can't just go into somebody's head without their consent. And the basic rules of telepathy. Order 66, that's right. He would be old enough to have been there when it happened. So if I were a Jedi, this would have been very simply solved. I wouldn't have been waving my lightsaber around trying to block the blaster bolts. I would have used the Force to grab all of those stormtroopers and crush them or throw them somewhere or something. No need for all the fancy acrobatics. There's a trope for that. It's called power amnesia. Look it up. It's really funny. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Snips!
You. I didn't expect to see you here.
Man, Snips,
I'm
you
an old
grew up
friend of the
good.
family.
What is this place?
There's nothing now, but will someday be a great school. Grogu will be its first student.
About that.
I'd like to know how he's doing.
He's doing fine.
I want to see him.
That's who, Rosario Dawson playing her?
I warned you when we met.
I think she studied the Clone Wars cartoons. She's definitely doing
There's
some
a
of the
Mandalorian
mannerisms
foundling in
of
my care.
the Ahsoka from the
I
show.
just want to make sure he's safe.
There is no place in the galaxy more safe than here with Luke.
I want to give him this.
Why? So he will remember you.
No.
Yeah,
As a Mandalorian foundling, he should have this. It's his right.
Foundling. Perhaps he is a Padawan now.
Why not both? After all, the person who forged the Darksaber was both Jedi and Mandalorian.
Either way, this armor will protect him.
If you're set on it, then allow me to deliver it.
I came all this way. He's right there.
Grogu misses you a great deal. If he sees you, it will only make things more difficult for him.
Oh, Luke, I was really hoping you'd move past this nonsensical Jedi can't have attachments bullshit. I mean, it's a new order. It doesn't have to follow the rules of the old.
Make sure he's protected.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to let go of someone you love. Sometimes you have to. Hey, no using the Force to try to pull his ship back. Besides, only Luke is strong enough to do that anyway. For now. So they're also using a body double because obviously Mark Hamill's, he's getting old, a little along in years. He's not quite as svelte anymore.
Really? That's all you got?
Trying to teach a Force jump. Seriously, why don't you guys fly with the Force? It makes no sense to me that you don't fly with the Force.
Jump, and as you do, feel the Force flow through you. You're trying too hard. Don't try.
Do.
Do.
Or do not. There is no try. I like this. Nice little mirror of him training with Yoda. Come on, I was about to say, you gotta do the flip. There's something I remember from the EU stuff that I really would love to see. I mean, it's obviously not important, but it would be cool to see. Is a scene where Luke uses the Force to walk on lava. It's just so epic. But this isn't his story, so.
The wide world exists in balance. through the Force, you will find balance as well.
Balance. Balance. The way of the Jedi is not a balanced way.
Concentrate.
Neither was the way of the Sith. Something in between, guys. Is Grogu his only student right now?
Use the Force.
Caught us! I love how like the previous episode
This
was
is a training remote.
of Boba Fett
It will
was
test your
all about the
reflexes.
Mandalorian. This one is all about Grogu and Jedi training. Kind of reminds me of how like when the MCU did Captain America Civil War, and it was really an Avengers movie.
No, that isn't how it works.
Should have just been Avengers Civil War, not Captain America Civil War. Now it's gonna shoot you with stuff.
Get back up. Always get back up.
An important lesson in life right there. There we go. Now use the Force to stop it. Nice.
Good.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy.
It's more like he's remembering than I'm actually teaching him anything.
Sometimes the student guides the master.
Also, the Force guides everyone who uses it, so.
The Mandalorian was here.
He brought him a gift.
The Jedi fell because of their inflexibility and dogmatic nature, Luke. Can't hold to that.
Sometimes I wonder if his heart is in it.
So much like your father.
God damn, it's good to see you again, Snips.
Trust your instincts.
I hated that character at the beginning of Clone Wars, and by the time she left, I was just like,
Will I see you
so
again?
in love with her.
Perhaps. May the Force be with you.
And also with you. Now go in peace to bring balance to the Force. I love their use of music to signal sort of like the, I don't know how to say it, like not quite the tone, but like what part of the universe we're really focusing on. You know what I mean? Like the part with Luke and everything felt much more like classic Star Wars movies themes and music, and then we get back to this story and immediately get back into that kind of Western feeling music with a little more orchestral stuff thrown in though.
I'm here at the request of Fennec Shand.
Well, gee, that's good enough for me. I'm not going to check any credentials or anything. Remember, guys, you want to go into the place, just drop a name, they'll let you right in.
Gathering soldiers the last few weeks. Mayor Marchese is on their payroll and has flown off-world, which leads us to believe the storm is about to break.
Can't trust a
scheduled
Mayor
vacation,
McCheese.
actually.
I'm glad they kept him around. He's fun.
We need foot soldiers.
I might be able to help with that.
Also, get weapons that level the playing field. You know? There's lots of ways to address an imbalance in... an imbalance in soldiers. Troop strength. There we go. That's the term I was looking for. Really good to have an army of Jawas. That'd be hilarious. That thing is so awkward to get out of. He looks like an old man getting out of his recliner after being in it for 15 hours every time he gets out of it.
I'm looking for Marshal Vance.
I don't think you heard what I said.
I heard you.
I'll take it from here, Deputy.
Haven't seen you since you gave up your armor. How have you been?
More careful. Where's the little guy?
So he's a retired Mandalorian?
Back with his own folk.
Interesting.
That's too bad. I guess we both lost something we were fond of.
So I guess this is something from season
Can I
2 of
buy you a drink?
Mandalorian or something that I haven't gotten to yet. I know some of you guys are super annoyed that I'm out of order with these things, but them's the breaks.
I still don't see what all that's got to do with me.
The Pike Syndicate has us outnumbered, and we need your help.
The town wants no part of it. That's a city folk fight.
Nothing that happens in the city stays in the city, buddy.
Is that what you say too?
Surrounding areas
Marshal.
are gonna get involved.
We're square, you and me.
There's no easy way to ask for a favor.
Things are tough around here. But I'll see what I can do.
Well, there's an end right there. Boba Fett can just give them tons of money. Timothy Oliphant was on my short list for dream casting for someone to play Roland Deschain in Gunsling and Dark Tower movies. Speaking of which, it's like we literally have Roland Deschain walking out of the desert right now.
Something wrong, Marshal?
I hope not. Just rather err on the side of safety.
Got a bad feeling. Why do I feel like I recognize that silhouette, though? But not from live action. Like, what was that one bounty hunter character from Clone Wars?
What's going on, boss?
Let me handle this, Deputy.
Holy shit, is it him? Why can't I think of his name? You guys know who I'm thinking of, though. I know you do.
Get inside.
Buddy, you are too zealous. Or at the very least, find a good position to cover him where you're not visible. Holy shit, it is him. I can't think of his name right now, but it is the guy I was thinking of. Literally never thought this guy would show up again in anything.
Whatever Fett is paying you, we'll match. And all you've got to do is stay put and let things play out.
Hey, the marshal ain't for sale.
Dude, he told you to stay inside. Now you're gonna die. Nameless rookie.
I'd be careful where I was sticking my nose if I were you.
Why can't I think of his name? Probably because it's been years.
Is that
like
friendly
literal
advice
years since
or a
I've seen
threat?
the Clone Wars. Wait, did we really introduce Timothy Oliphant's character just so he could get killed to demonstrate how badass this guy is? Deputy, seriously, if you were going to do this, you should have done it from cover where you could not be seen. You'd understand the principle of Overwatch. I assume he's going to pull through. And now, of course, this town realizes that it's going to have to make a choice. It's like I said, city problems don't stay in the city. Man, I love her outfits. Always going to be a very big fan of a beautiful woman dressed in beautiful clothes.
Excuse me.
Wait a minute, did they just leave a bomb?
Wait.
That's a bomb.
You forgot your katuna.
Guys, run! Wow. Hot pot full of explosives. Don't turn this into a choose moment, please. There's no reason to hold I'm going to keep beating that horse, but there's no reason to hold to the dogma. Aww.
The Mandalorian wanted you to have this. But before you take it, I will give you a choice. This is a lightsaber.
Yoda's? Is that Yoda's lightsaber?
It belonged to my teacher, Master Yoda. And now, I'm offering it to you.
Luke, you're repeating the mistakes of the Jedi of the past, though. Shouldn't be a choice.
You may choose only one. If you choose the armor, you'll return to your friend, the Mandalorian. However, you will be giving into attachment to those that you love, and
what's wrong with
the way
that?
of the Jedi. But if you choose the lightsaber, you will be the first student in my academy, and I will train you to be a great Jedi. Because, Grogu, a short time for you is a lifetime for someone else. Which do you choose?
Well, Luke is a flawed person, just like anyone else. And unfortunately, he is letting himself be guided by the dogmas of the past. And, you know, obviously it takes time to recognize the flaws of something when it's, you know, been ingrained into you. I'm hoping, though, that, well, I mean, we all know where he ends up, but, you know, part of that is because he comes to understand that the ways of the Jedi were flawed. Unfortunately, you know, maybe course corrected too far in the other direction, but that to me is a big deal, like, in this series, is that, like, people need to realize that the Force isn't balanced by either the light side or the dark side. Both of them are too far in one direction or the other. This ascetic lifestyle where you give up all of your attachments and companionship and, you know, all these sorts of things is no more enlightened, really, than the path of the Sith, where you give into every emotion you have and let yourself be fueled by rage and hate. You know, balance, as the name implies, means you have to be somewhere in the middle. A properly balanced person can control their emotions when necessary and can experience their emotions when necessary. They can have attachments without being burdened by those attachments or becoming obsessed because of those attachments. You know, pretty much the entire fall of Anakin could have been avoided if the Jedi hadn't been so dedicated to this idea that they have to stand alone without any connections to other people, you know? It's just... anyway. Gray Jedi all the way. If I were in this universe, that's what I would be. I would take the armor and the lightsaber and say, suck it, Skywalker! It was great seeing this side of things, even though, you know, and I'm glad that we didn't just do this time, because after all, this is the Book of Boba Fett. So I'm glad we spent some time with what's going on with Boba Fett and his crew. I'm curious as to whether or not anyone survived the explosion at Sanctuary. I am curious as to whether Timothy Oliphant's character survived. I assume he did. He only got shot once. There's a reason why they had him only get shot once, whereas his deputy got shot like enough times to turn him into a freaking colander. And also, he's a big name. You don't typically just have like big names like that just breeze through. But as I say that, we did just have Rosario Dawson just breeze through as Ahsoka. So maybe they did just have him here just to be one and done. I almost had the guy's name. The guy who shot Timothy Oliphant's character. Crate? Is this something Crate? No, that's not right, is it? I'll have to look it up later. He's on the wrong side. I think he makes a habit of that. Whoever pays him the most, that's what he does. I assume the village is going to end up coming to Boba Fett's aid, especially after what happened there, the little showdown. And I'm also guessing that Grogu is going to choose the path of the Mandalore. Or the way. And I think he can still, guy's gonna live a long freaking time. He has time to learn the ways of the Force too. It's not like he stops having the Force just because he leaves. And like Luke said, a short time for him is a lifetime for someone else, so he can always come back. And it'd be kind of ironic if he ends up being trained by Rey later. Because after all, he won't even really be a teenager by that point, if he comes back later to be trained by Rey. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much all there really is to say about this episode. It was a lot of fun. Definitely hit the nostalgia points in pretty much just the right ways. I didn't feel like any of the fan service was pandering so much, which I definitely felt some of it was with the new trilogy, where every now and then something would just be there for no good reason, just to give us, oh look, I remember that thing feels, the little member berries, But this time I felt like it mostly, all of it made sense. We didn't see anything that felt like it was just pulled out of nowhere to, get the feels out of us. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this episode. I don't know what I was about to say. Anyway, guys, my brain is completely frazzled today for some reason. So I'm just going to end the video here. You guys do me a favor, as always, promise to stay safe, be well, and I will see you for the next one. Hopefully my brain will work better next time. Bye-bye.
Let's see you jump.